everybody, it's Kayla, and today's video is going to be the TBR Book Tag. I found this book tag from Megan's Reading Revelations here on YouTube, and I thought I would give it a whirl. If you like this kind of video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here, please subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you are alerted when I post new videos. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I have the questions here and I have all the books pulled, so let's go ahead and get started. So prompt 1 is, how do I keep track of my TBR book pile? Well, I have a whole cart, a whole TBR, like 3-drawer cart. It has all of my TBR books on it. The bottom 2 have all like the books that are like, need to be read, and the top shelf I have saved for what I'm reading that month, and that is how I keep track. But Megan from Megan's Reading Revelations says that she does a Google Sheet, and she has her entire TBR list on that. I thought that was a really good idea. Maybe I can link it in the description box, and it could just, if one of those books is something that you want to see reviewed before you buy it, you could push me to read it faster so that you can get a review. Or maybe we can do a buddy read together, just seeing, some ideas. So question number 2 is your TBR mostly print or ebook? It is all print, I think, at this point. My Kindle has, I think, 2 books on it that I want to read, Layla and White Hot Kiss. So I need to get started on those too. I keep forgetting about them because my Kindle is in my backpack, and then I start a book at home, and then I bring that book everywhere I go. So we need to get on that. Book 3, how do you determine which book from your TBR to read next? Well, I was going to do the Bookopoly, and I have it all made out, but I am still trying to figure out the best way to film it. I'm currently working with my cell phone and a tripod, and it just doesn't quite give me the right angle. So I'm thinking for next month, I'm going to write all of them out and put them in a bowl and pull. Either that, or I'm going to do what I normally do and just sit there for an hour and fidget through books and pick which ones sound good. I could film that if that would be interesting to you guys, watching me decide which books are going to sound good to me next month. So the next one is a book that's been on your TBR list the longest. And if you have seen any of my videos, you know exactly what book this is. It has been the same book, Even the Darkest Stars by Heather Fawcett. I still haven't read it. I still need to read it. I will give you a little synopsis. Okay, so pretty much this book follows Casman, and she is tasked, well, her and her sister are both explorers in this world, and when a great explorer comes to town, he chooses Casman, which is the younger sister, to go with him on this like huge expedition on the biggest mountain in Eris, and her sister is kind of salty about it, sad about it, not happy about it. So she decides to also do a mission on that. And her sister has to decide whether or not she wants to fight to win, to get to the top of this mountain before her sister, or to help her sister through all of the pitfalls and the dangers that surround this mountain. And it does sound really good, really mysterious, really just ominous. It sounds like there's going to be like a little bit of paranormal in it. I really need to get this read. So somebody tell me, this is February, okay? Be on it. Y'all have to keep me honest. So the next question is a book you recently added to my TBR. Well, I couldn't choose just one because I recently added 2, and they're part of a series. So The Goal by Elle Kennedy and The Legacy by Elle Kennedy. And I can already tell you right now what The Legacy is about, but we'll save that till after we know what The Goal is about because that's the order it goes in. Gosh, Kayla. So The Goal is all about Sabrina, who is in line to go to law school at Harvard, and she meets Tucker, and they have one night of a fiery passion romance and wind up pregnant. And she's really confined to herself. She doesn't want to fall in love. She has a life plan, but Tucker is all about her, wanting to, move in together, live together, be a family for the baby, and she's all like, no. So it's all about Tucker really getting Sabrina to realize that she's also in love with him. Sounds good though. The whole series has been fantastic. And then The Legacy is just a compilation of 4 novellas following all the couples from The Mistake, The Score, The Goal, and oh no, what's the third one? The Deal. Oh, that was the first one. It was the best. Huh, who knows with me? So I'm excited to be able to get to this one because we get to catch back up with all of our past couples. And it's exciting because some of them were my number ones. Like, you know, they will all be my number ones. Just stop me now before I ramble. Okay. A book in your TBR strictly because of its beautiful cover. This was hard because I feel like there are a few in my TBR because of their cover, but this one is the one that spoke to me while I was looking. It's Another Time by Carolyn Leach. And I don't know what it is, if it's just the girl and her like demeanor, if it's all the trees and the flowers. It was just so pretty. So I'll go ahead and give you the synopsis. So this book follows Maisie in 1942, and she's living in the Scottish Highlands as a lumberjill. And it's all about, you know, just her and this guy that she is logging with her, and she feels like they're getting close friends, and like the second they would get like too close, he would pull away, and then he gets into a bad accident and she's trying to heal him back to health, and he finally like tells her what's going on with him, and so she has to decide, is fixing him worth it while they're going through, you know, war and famine and, you know, hard work. And it sounds good. It sounds good. The picture is beautiful. I mean, like, I'm guessing that's Maisie, and ooh, she's gorgeous. All right, so the next question, a book on your TBR that you never plan on reading. And I'm not gonna lie, I pulled like 4 books off of my TBR cart and was like, I don't know that I'll ever read this, but I bought it, and so I should. And that book, the book that I finally chose was the Cinderella Deal by Jennifer Cruz. And don't get me wrong, I love Jennifer Cruz books, but it's so small that I feel like this is a book that I will just push off and push off and push off, and I will probably never end up reading until my TBR cart is like empty, and I don't think that will ever happen because I'm a bookaholic and I'm a book shopperaholic. So I'll go ahead and read you the synopsis here, or give you the synopsis. So pretty much this book follows Daisy, and she's a painter, and her next door neighbor is like a corporate businessman, and he asks her to be his fake fiance for the night to impress his bosses. And then all of a sudden they're married and living together. And you know, the end sentence is something along the lines of, could this mistake lead to true love? I mean, it does sound cute, but the book is so small that I will probably just never get there. And that makes me so mad because it does sound really good. Okay, so an unpublished book on my TBR that I'm excited for. I think this one's also an easy guess. It's book 4 of, I said A Court of Thorn Roses. It's a book 4 of From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I cannot remember what it's called now, of course. Like, The Battle of Two Queens, I think. Is it, right? Something like that. I'll put a picture up so that you get the right idea. But that is one book that I am like stoked to come out in a couple of months. A book on your TBR that basically everyone's read but you. And I feel like I just mentioned this book in another video, but I feel like everybody has read it. It was between this one and Scythe, but Six of Crows by Leah Bardugo. I feel like everybody and their mother, and probably their father, has read this book but me. And I haven't. I don't know that I have like the biggest desire to read it. Thank you to the Midnight Reader though for telling me how good it is. So I probably will give it a try now because she seems like she has great taste in books and I trust her. So I will make this a priority, but I'll go ahead and give you the synopsis. Okay, so pretty much it sounds like it's going to take place in a place, oh my gosh, I said place like 6 times, in a place called Ketterdam, and Kaz is trying to pull off a big heist, and he's bringing his friends along to join him, but it doesn't sound like he and these friends all get along, and that they could kill each other before they get this heist done. I'm hoping there's at least a little romance, because that's what's going to keep me interested. I feel like that sounds bad, but if there's no romance, I usually get really bored really fast. I like at least the build up to some kind of romance, if that makes sense. Okay, a book on my TBR that everyone recommends to me. Now, this one has been recommended to me by people in my like personal life, which doesn't happen very often because I feel like a lot of my friends don't read, or if they do read, they read more of like adult self-help, adult, just adult books, whereas I'm kind of like all over the place in my book world thing. Either way, the book that has been the most recommended to me is Caravel, or I said it right, Caravel by Stephanie Garber. And I mean, it has been recommended to me so many times in book groups on Facebook, Instagram. I've seen it a million times here on BookTube. I've seen it a million times on Book Talk. And like I said, even friends here in my personal life have recommended it. So I bought it. I need to read it because I haven't read it yet. I don't know why, but I'll give you guys the synopsis. So this book revolves around a girl named Scarlett and her sister Tella, who live at home with their father, who's kind of like a tyrant. And he ends up forcing an arranged marriage on Scarlett, and she's really sad because she doesn't think she's going to get her opportunity to go to the once a year Caraval show. But her invitation comes, so Tella whisks her away to it, and then Tella gets taken by the Caraval like main head person, legend, and so Scarlett has to spend the 5 days of Caraval trying to get her sister back. It sounds really good. It makes me want to read it like right now. Not even gonna lie. That it was good. It was very good. Okay. So then a book on your TBR that you're dying to read, and I feel like I could just move Caravel into that option, but we won't. It's An Ember in the Ash by Sabaa Tahir. And I've been wanting to read this book and I don't know why I haven't yet. Like, I think it was like tucked back behind a few other books. So I kind of forgot I had it on my TBR cart, to be honest. And now I'm kind of mad that it hasn't been read. So I'll give you guys the synopsis. Okay, so pretty much it sounds like Leia lives in the Marshall Empire, and she lives with her grandparents and her brother, and it seems at first that they are a pretty like normal family, like very poor, but like they're not trying to fight the dictator of this world, this country, this place. And then her brother gets arrested for treason, and the rebels come to Leia and ask her and tell her that they can help save her brother if she's willing to spy from the soldiers' academy. And so she agrees to it. She goes. She meets Elias, who is the country's best soldier, and he's also the most unwilling. And they kind of form a bond and are working from the inside to help bring it down. And that one has sounded good from like day one since I bought it. Like, I hadn't even seen it on Book Talk or BookTube or Book anything. And when I saw it at Mr. K's, and I picked it up, and I really need to read it. Like, really need to read it. So let's do this. I've got like a whole litany of books to read next month, right? Like, so just read these and call it a day. Who knows? So the last one is how many books are on my TBR shelf? And I counted 47. If we add the 2 that I know are on my Kindle, it's 49. And if we add the one that we know I'm going to buy on March 15th, it's 50. That's a lot of books to not have read yet that I want to read. It's kind of daunting, but also like exciting because I will never be without a book to read. So that's, a happy thought. But that is all for today, and I will see you guys in the next one.